What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, another episode of King Darius Cooks. Today we're going to be working on a leg of lamb that I picked up from our local grocery store. I will also be discussing what the best way to go ahead and butcher this is. After we butcher it, we'll go ahead and season it, and we'll get it ready for dinner. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to be starting out with a nice sharp knife. I went ahead and sharpened this ahead of time like I did in my last video, and like I'll be doing in all my videos. So, there's a couple ways to go about this. The first way that I tried to work with a leg of lamb is I actually parted it out. I took everything off the bone. That way when I use the precision cooking machines that you see behind me, I could do it in small packaged bags instead of cooking it all at once. But I found that it's actually not bad. Cook it all at once, season the whole thing together, and then just put this in a gigantic bag and drop it in the sous vide. So that's actually what we're doing today. Alright guys, so we're cutting this handle to make things easier to hang on to once we get to the sous vide and searing process. After we finish cutting the handle, we're going to work our way through the leg, removing the outer layers of fat. This usually only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to clean if I'm focused on what I'm doing. We'll zip right through this and then get to the next part of the video. Alright guys, so as far as our seasonings go for this, it's really simple. We're going to start with Morton's Coarse Salt. We've got Garam Marsala. We have garlic powder and grill mates. We're back this time with Brazilian Steakhouse seasoning. This is really all it takes. You don't have to season lightly. You can go crazy with it if you want. Again, that's another beauty of sous vide, is that that's really going to meld all the flavors from these different ingredients. So go ahead and get started. One thing I cannot stress enough, guys, is we definitely need to make sure we have enough seasoning on here ahead of time. This is going to help tenderize the meat, so don't be scared. Go for it. And we're gonna hit it with our garlic. And then we've got our Steakhouse seasoning. And then our Garam Marsala. This really adds that extra flavor, that lamb house flavor you're looking for when you order lamb. This is it. This is the flavor you're looking for. Alright, and we're gonna rub this into our meat. sure to get nice down into those grooves. Okay. Same thing on this side. Okay, now we have a nice seasoned board. We've got nice seasoned meat. I'm just going to do one more roll on both sides so we don't waste anything here. You know, another interesting thing is a lot of people don't really like the lamb leg, you know, versus a lamb chop, because they find that the lamb leg is not as flavorful as a lamb chop. Now, while that's true, I find that when you season it this way and then you sous vide the entire meat, it comes out so flavorful. It tastes just as flavorful as a lamb chop. So that's why we didn't necessarily switch, but we do this when we want to have dinner for a few days versus just making one dinner for one night. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here is our butchered and seasoned leg of lamb. Next thing up is we're going to go ahead and sous vide this. We'll vacuum seal it in a bag with butter, and I'm gonna have it in sous vide for 24 to 48 hours. And when that comes out, I'll be doing another video or add on to this one showing you guys the searing process and what we need to do to finish the meat. The lamb is butchered, it's cleaned, it's seasoned. We managed to finally get it into the sous vide bag. You know, funny little mishap. It turned out we didn't have any large bags available, so we just used what we had. It was like shoving a foot into a slipper, but we made it. So we're here. Next thing is the sous vide part of this. I don't think this whole leg of lamb is gonna fit in this bucket. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna improvise. We are going to use this instead. All right, so what we need to do, first things first, when I talk about sous vide, basically this is an example of one of the sous vide devices. Once this is plugged into the wall, you'll have touchscreen controls on the top, and basically you can decide what specific temperature you wanna cook food at. For a leg of lamb, we're gonna do 141 degrees for 24 to 48 hours. And that's gonna make it tender and juicy and fall off the bone moist. It's gonna be delicious. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this up to 141 degrees and then press play. And as you can hear, the sous vide is gonna heat the water in this bucket to the preferred temperature to make this meat nice and juicy and delectable by the time that it's done. All right? So from here, once this gets up to temperature, it'll let us know. We'll leave this in the sous vide for 24 to 48 hours, and we'll come back and do the next part, which is searing the meat. All right, guys, so at this point, I decided to do something a little bit different. I actually left this leg of lamb in sous vide for 72 hours, and I don't regret it. Here's what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy is back 72 hours later, and our sous vide leg of lamb is done. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna drain all the liquid out of the package. We're gonna go ahead and save that for another project, and then we're gonna torch sear the rest of the meat. It's gonna be awesome. Let's get it. All right, guys, so first things first, let's go ahead and get all this liquid drained out. For that, we're gonna need something to store it in. So, do this. I don't need no wife's help. Yes, I do. All right, let's go. Oh my goodness gracious. It smells ridiculous. So good. It's like nectar, dude.
You attracted a friend.
You start pouring out lamb juice, all the animals come running. You know what I'm saying? Goodness gracious, look at that. I gotta let my camera lady smell some of that. Yeah, smell that. Bang. Goodness. All right. So, lamb, fresh out the sous vide. This is what it looks like. Look at that. It's falling apart, guys. Literally falling apart. This is what 72-hour sous vide lamb looks like. This is what it does. And this is why we do it. Okay? Yes, could we cook it in the oven? Absolutely. But it wouldn't come out like this. You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. So, our next order of business is go ahead and get all of this seared. We're gonna sear the outside of this nicely and then take it from there. I don't know about you guys, but that's looking ridiculous. So what we're gonna do, actually, here's what we're gonna do. All that stuff that came out of that sous vide bag, you know what it is? It's broth, ladies and gentlemen. Buttery lamb broth. All right, so we're gonna hit this with a little drizzle. Look at that. Look at that. So that's perfect. Last thing to do is cut this baby up and have a taste test. This is what we've all been waiting for. Look at this. Look at this. This is what happens when you sous vide a leg of lamb for 72 hours. It literally begins to fall apart. This is not lamb that you have to chew. You don't have to worry about that. This is fun for everyone. Literally, it melts in your mouth. Okay? So, I don't even, look at this. I don't even need a knife. I don't even need a knife. Look at that. The lamb is so moist, so tender, and you can match it with anything. And if you're Indian dishes, if you're just a lamb person, you like lamb, this is the way to do it, guys. Look at that. Look at this. And the smell is just out of this world. Smells so good. So when we sous vide and we did all that dry rub for the seasonings, all of that got melded into the meat and it just smells wonderful. So the last thing that we need to do, I'm gonna taste this lamb, guys. We're gonna taste this lamb today. Let's just find us a little piece here, something close to the bone. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at how, look at this. This falls apart. Girl, let me tell you something. Had to take a break so I could process how delicious that lamb was. If you like this video, if you learned anything, go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and hit that notification bell, and we're coming back at you with another one.